Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I'm good.
Are you good?
I'm good.
Right.
But when it did come.
Okay, we're going on the walking tour. We're a little bit late, so we're catching up. But we got some beautiful scenery here in this park as we catch up. I think I see the main group, but I have my whisperer on, so when we're in range I'll be able to know when we're close, because I'll hear the signal. Beautiful park here. Ducks Bailey, Ducks Bailey. Bailey's not a duck chaser like our old dog Nutmeg. Nutmeg used to love to chase ducks. We have to narrate these videos for our dog so she doesn't feel left out when we get home. Somebody has a sense of humor. Either that or they're representatives from one of the tobacco companies in North Carolina.
Cruise ship? No.
Right,
This
me
is
either.
Smaller, yeah. It takes all the small towns and get on and off.
Beautiful gardens. That's
That way? Well, everybody's going this way.
Hope that's not kudzu from Georgia. Once it takes over, it doesn't leave.
This is caregiver tool.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, there's my house. I'll see you guys later. I just stayed on the hotel last night to slum it, so I'm gonna go to my house right there. Now they're putting these pointers. That's a good idea, because that's what you see online. There's the entrance there, but Charlotte wants to go see the cemetery. Very well kept cemetery here. Gentleman doing work as we speak here. Very typical name there, Gunnar Eriksson and Alma Eriksson. Another typical name, Lindquist. Anderson with 2 S's. There's the water out there. As I said, very well maintained. Charlotte's talking to the gardener. Another gardener working. Okay, I gotta figure that one out when I get a chance. There's a pier over there. And the castle's over here. The birds are whistling past the graveyard, and I'm walking past it. Buttercups are in bloom. Well, Contrast between the new and the old. Okay, well, it's raining, but we're soldiering on here. And we're going to get a little break here in this little tunnel going underneath the ramparts. Okay, that was the first rampart, and now we have a moat.
Is it the drawbridge?
Yeah, it's quite a moat. I don't think it's a drawbridge anymore, but I'm sure it was at one point. Oh, they have a mini drawbridge here. You can see where the chains come down, and the hinges are right here.
I will be joining you guys soon.
Okay.
Great.
Yeah.
We have to come back. Could I look at the schedule, please?
Sure. Okay, we got clear skies just beyond the cannons and the wall. A view from inside the walls. Another view from inside the walls. Okay, we're going through yet another wall, I believe. This was a very strategic area, apparently, so it was well protected. Okay, coming into a courtyard. Another panoramic view from the other side of the courtyard. Okay, the weather is improving. We got some blue sky ahead, so I'm gonna do some more walking around the inside perimeter. When I was a kid, we went to Fort Delaware, which is on an island in the Delaware River, just south of Wilmington, and it's very similar layout in a lot of ways. And Wilmington was founded by the Swedes. There's an old Swedes church that we also went to as school children. So they were one of the first to settle Wilmington, Delaware. So I can see some Swedish influence.
strongest one in medieval Sweden. I'm one of you. And I think we'll probably go. They didn't follow the plans. So the castle was always in the wrong spot, really. Except that if you didn't take this castle, you couldn't take the rest of Sweden. So it was the key. Wait, like this. Show you that you are now entering Rome. And you're not at all in the force anymore.
This was designed as an Italian piazza just to show the international flavor of this area. Shows the thickness of the walls here.
The walls were constructed, the ones that you passed through, 20 meters thick walls from around the mid 16th century. The beginning of the castle looks like this. This tower here was just a single tower on the Baltic, a simple defense wall. And later, this is around 1150. But the rest of the castle here was built about 50 years later by one of the kings from up north that wanted to create a Swedish kingdom and include these parts. So this was his stronghold on the Danish border. In here is Danish. The Danish kingdom is extremely well organized ever since the Viking days, when they also ruled Scotland and England and Ireland and lots of other things like islands out here, you know, the Shetlands and the Orkneys.
It's got the long island. Yes. Wow.
Medieval dungeon down there.
I got a half hour to wander around.
Okay.
Entrance, his apartment, and the Queen has her apartment.
This is the Queen's entrance.
It's been changed many times. And what you see is, you say, remnants of a former glory. You feel like a queen now. Yes, of course. Photography is permitted. They tried to ban photographs long ago, but then everybody has been smaller, probably for heat reasons, because it's easier to heat a small room than a large one. Still, they were pretty big. Go straight down here.
Used to be 2 rooms.
And on the other side, you will find a similar thing here. The wall used to go there. This door was opened up later on when this became one big room, and here was a door that they closed down then. An original from the 1600s. It doesn't sound very late, but queens have slept in this bed and in this bedroom. Came to a palace of a Danish noble family and took the bed with them as a suitable present for the queen to go down and count. And it wasn't very strong, but they drank all the time. You couldn't drink the water for fear of getting poisoned because the water was famous, but ordinary people drank beer, and soldiers drank beer. Part of their salary was in a ration of beer every day. So it has been damaged. Well known. The name of the owner of this bed is well known from a play by Shakespeare, Hamlet. Hamlet is a Danish prince, of course. And in Hamlet you find lots of Danish names, because Shakespeare knew the business. He picked names from reality. And you remember from Hamlet probably a scene where Hamlet is visited by 2 friends, student friends from university. They come and see him and then they leave, and after a while somebody comes in and says, "Your friends are dead." You remember their names?
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Yes. This was the Rosencrantz bed. They owned that bed. So you have the palaces you come through and take whatever you can back. And they are put up here to show that the royal family of Sweden are well versed in Roman history. And when you come in here and you don't know what's going on, you can always ask. Music is dance music from the Renaissance, and it might very well be played just like that here, because the musicians were highly skilled and they were in great demand. One season maybe they found this room, which has been restored, because this used to be during the prison days a storage place for casualties and the like. And a lot of it has been damaged, but there were also expert woodworkers, wood artists at work here in the late 1800s that restored the room to its former beauty. The original, that's a hard thing, I've heard also 90%, but to be sure, I'll say that it has been restored. You can probably, if you look very carefully, you can see how they've been working. And the Renaissance. Pictures are from the Mediterranean area, Italy, I would say, and you're supposed to recognize them and feel like an educated person when you do. The door, while people were waiting in here to see the Queen, they would have both doors closed. And when you close the door, you can't really see where is the door because there are no handles. So things of architecture and art. They also looked at the sciences and mathematics and geometry. They looked in the windows of geometrical figures, highly, almost modern, you could say. You can see these in modern art. Beautiful coffered ceiling with decorations. It's completely disappeared. They say that at the end of the prison days in the early 1800s, all the furniture that happened to be here and everything that we have put in later on is from the right time, but they weren't in the castle from the beginning. And you're invited by the Queen to have a meal with her, then how do you open the door? Because there's no handle here. And besides, even if there were handles, the Queen doesn't open up on the other side. You would push the door open. He had a little page. That's the beginning of his career at court. And it was called a door swing. And you push the door open, and then you sneak around the corner. So it looked like the Queen could work magic by clapping her hands. It's hard, I know, and we have no cushions here, but in another room then maybe. Now, we talked about the Vasa dynasty, starting with Gustav. The photographs from that symbol. The symbol, this is the Vasa symbol, and you have come from. And then the last little brother, horrible brother of the Vasa family, became king after Sigismund. This was a fight between Catholics and Protestants. So you will see some of the faces later on in the next room. But to begin with, the Polish Queen.
This is set for an Easter meal.
She was seated there, and her sisters were seated here, and then his son of the first marriage, the Polish princess, was seated there, Sigismund, and here was his sister Anna. Interesting. And he traveled in Sweden, very difficult, all winter, wading through ice cold rivers because the roads just nothing, because it's a sacred time. You're supposed to be quiet and still and so on. So they said we could actually, but for us this is a rich table. And there is glass. There are glasses for wine, and the wine came from abroad, and the king and the queen consumed an enormous amount of wine during their existence. For each king has a remarkable yellow beard. It goes all the way down to his middle. Beautiful beard. Very impressive. And the new queen and of her the two sisters were seated here. The queen is only 18 years old, and her sisters are 16 and 15. And just out It's not there anymore. It was out there on the wall. The rest of the family goes to church where we're going to end the tour. His sister Anna, strangely enough, is Protestant. I don't know if they care less for girls. They used after King John and had this try reuniting the religions. The food is mainly from the sea.
Even the doors are works of art.
For a young prince.
The king's bedroom.
The tower is octagonal, and you see it from outside. So it indicates that this is the tower where the king sleeps.
It's good to be the king.
I suppose there's very much logic in it because of 1.5 years. And he obviously decided this is what I want. And his bed was in the middle here. It wasn't an enormous bed, but it was a big bed. And during his sleep, he was guarded by soldiers because a young prince or a young king would have to be careful. The soldiers, one of the soldiers might have been bribed to kill him, so he must have a way out. They were all paranoid in that sense, and therefore they created a trapdoor leading out to an escape route, just in case. It never had to be used, as far as we know, but one of the earliest known pictures of Kalamar Castle. This is the way it looked at that time when Eric was prince here, and then later on became king. He visited Kalamar a lot then too. There were hunting grounds. You can see the hunting scenes up here. He shows that he is not afraid to hunt dangerous animals like bears or wild boars over here. And the hunting grounds on the island of Öland, straight across here, were a law that said that farmers hunting dogs could only have 3 legs. They had to cut off 1 leg. And this was it was cruel days and bloody days, and these people didn't only hate other people, they also hated each other. Because Eric, when he became king, had the idea, brother John, who was a younger brother, over to England with his picture and said, now you propose to the queen and show the picture and make sure that she says yes. And Johan had a very good time in England, but Queen Elizabeth admired the picture. She actually said it was very nice. And especially she commented on his legs because he had long red silk stockings to show off his beautiful legs. So it wasn't, I sometimes kid groups and says beautiful legs, but it actually was meant to be that way too, not just a joke. And there is a chamber here in the next room that's called, it's always been called Agda's chamber, so we think it must have been there that it happened. And then when he discarded Agda, she was married off into a noble family, and the children were taken care of very well and so on. And he tried to marry Elizabeth again, but there was another no. So finally he fell in love with a soldier's daughter, the lowest of the low, and raised her to be Queen of Sweden. And that was when the nobility of Sweden said, no, we can't have this now. A king that is... In the background here we see Gustav again, the father of the dynasty and one of his queens. He was married 3 times.